Hello, it's Beverly with the Intuitive Interior, and it's July 2026, I Ching. It's the Fire Horse Monkey Month. Fire Horse, or excuse me, the Yang Fire Horse. I'm not meaning Fire Horse, I mean Yang Fire Monkey Month. We're in the Fire Horse year, so that means there's a lot of things coming to light. The sun is shining, the energy is high, the enthusiasm can be that which takes us kind of on a crazy little direction. But here's the thing, that fire energy is what gives us that get up and go, let's get things done. Now, monkey energy, let me double check on all of the different things here. The monkey energy is that of a problem solver. It is kind of sarcastic, very intelligent, witty. Monkeys often get the bad rap. They're talking about the monkey mind. Moving all over, moving quick, doing all these crazy things, distracting you. And yes, while that can be true, it's also monkeys are very good at solving problems. Monkeys are a yang metal element in nature with a little bit of water that's also kind of tucked away in there. So when you get that combination, that is holding onto a lot of wisdom and wealth. This is how you know it's a real person and nothing AI here. So the card that one has for this Yang Fire Monkey is right here. You've got this happy little guy sitting in the sunshine, just very contented. The tagline on this is time to embrace change. Because again, monkeys don't like to stay still. He's hanging out here in the middle of these crossroads, trying to decide, well, which direction do I go? My husband and I always joke whenever there's a decision to be made. We just simply say, pick the one on the left. But is that always the right one? The fire monkey pillar points to instability in your current situation, with fire sitting on top of metal, the element of the monkey. Yang fire, like the sun, is inclusive and unconditional in shining its light. Like a wildfire, it can also burn everything in its path in a short time. The monkey is a loyal, dedicated, and is also willing to risk it all to defend the truth, but also quick to let go of what doesn't serve. As a yang metal sign, the monkey doesn't hold on or do anything halfway. He either commits fully or leaves swiftly. This, again, signifies that we're at a complete change in your situation. We're at a crossroads. There's no turning back. So if you're anxious for change, you got to figure out which way to go. One path liberates, while the other path requires you to give it all away. Or give it all. Don't overthink. Follow your heart. This truly is a make or break time. There's a new phase. The status quo is about to be left. When you have made that decision, then relief will be here. The challenge, of course, is releasing the attachments to the past and welcoming the future. That sometimes is easier said than done. Everybody always likes to think of moving on to someplace new as, yes, okay, the planning, this is exciting, this is great. Oh my gosh, wait a minute, what do you mean I've got to pack boxes? Oh, wait a minute, what do you, oh yeah, no, that just means I've also got to find a new place to live. I need to go find new doctors. I have to find new friends. All of that's a lot. It's exciting. But there comes a point when you have to just pull the trigger and go. The card that symbolizes in the I Ching, this with the Yang fire and the monkey energy, the hexagram, is card number 40. It's called Deliverance. And it's the image of a man receiving the rain onto the parched earth with joy, and as well as a little bit of apprehension because there's lightning that's going on in the foreground. This energy is one of release, relief, a fresh approach, liberation from obstruction, finding a solution, and exhilaration. It feels good when the storm finally breaks, when it finally starts to rain, because we've all had that tightness, that anticipation, knowing that something is about to break loose. And especially in areas that have been without rain for a long time, it is such a welcome relief to finally get that rain. You just never know what all is going to happen. Now, here in Central Texas, we recently had an awful lot of rain that, again, flooded areas that had flooded dramatically before, that swept homes away, that damaged different things in rivers that now have created an environmental and ecological disaster. But our aquifers are filling up. So there's kind of these pluses and minuses. It's great that we have the water, and now there are the consequences. It is wonderful when the tensions have been released, when that sore spot on your back that you've been wanting some help with, when the massage therapist finally takes their thumb off of that, or their elbow. But it's not comfortable while it's happening. It's part of the process. Letting go of the past and its turmoil will clear the ground for the lessons of deliverance to take firm root in the soil and grow into a deeper and more profound liberation of the spirit. If any hurts or misunderstandings remain unaddressed in the current situation, it's time to acknowledge them. Do whatever is possible to heal the wounds or to clear up the misunderstandings and move on. There is a window of opportunity now to move quickly and decisively into a new order of things, and this is best accomplished with heart-filled gratitude for all the lessons learned. Now, again, all of this that I'm saying goes from the dates of August 7th through September 6th. We're already getting some of that energy kind of sneaking in, but August 7th is when this really, really stands firm and takes hold. The next clarifying card here is number 19, and it's called Approach. The beautiful staircase with a red carpet, walking outside to a beautiful vista with cherry trees and blossom, beautiful blue skies, and gorgeous green meadow. It's advancing, a warm reception, prosperous conditions, increased influence, hopefulness, lightening up, and an arrival. This is the card of new beginnings. Just because this has that feeling of spring, and just because we've had spring already and we're in July, we're going into August, this isn't exactly the seasonal thing, but it's a period after what feels kind of dark. So we'll have the dark and the cold months, and then March rolls in, or we'll have, in this case, a lot of the heat and feeling confined because going outside and staying out there for too terribly long without proper hydration can also be very, very poor for your health. There's also times in life where situations might feel very uncertain, very unsteady, very confused, and this is the time of clarity. This is the perfect opportunity for romance, for finding those new beginnings, for allowing that little monkey energy to help you finally see the solution to the problem that you've been working on. And there's expansion, there's abundance, there's growth, there's a lot of really good new possibilities here. It's also important not to take this opportunity and use it. Now, the bottom line, or the focus line, is the number 1, and this is all about the introspection, going within, redoubling any efforts that you make with the intention of increasing the harmony in your relationships and supporting the work of others is a wise use of the present conditions. The opportunities that are coming your way right now flourish even more when they are supported by a strong and mutually supportive group. Build your community. This is a great month to take the people that you've already got in your world and strengthen that community. Create the opportunities for new growth and new abundance for everyone, and that will lift everybody's boats. The second clarifying card is card number 56, called the Wanderer. This is an older gentleman with bald head, gray hair, brown robes, with a large walking staff, kind of moving forward into the fog, not really sure where he's going, but he's heading into the wilderness. This wanderer energy says traveling, adventure, movement, coping with unfamiliarity, a pilgrimage, aloneness, broaden your horizons. Traveling is one of the best ways to meet new people, get new ideas, and expand your current knowledge base. Even if you think that you know everything about where you're going, if you approach it with a sense of curiosity, you will learn something new, maybe find a little humility that perhaps you kind of needed, but also you get the chance to be the guest. Now, when you are in an unfamiliar situation, it's important to look at it, again, from that place of curiosity, which is why I called my podcast The Curiosity Solution, that you are not the one in charge. You get to be the observer and do as in Rome as the Romans do. It's ask questions, listen, be curious, and stay flexible. So we are going to have to be flexible this next month because we're got a lot of interesting things, spring coming forth, all these changes, these things opening up. We get to be curious, stay open-minded, observant, and be flexible. This is also important for those who are familiar with what's going on to not use that level of familiarity and make the others who are still learning feel inferior, because they're not. They're just beginners. We all go into something, with a beginner's mindset, at least, hopefully a couple of times in life. It's the other thing too, says, be wary of any temptation to condemn anyone or anything because it is different from what you know, whether judgments are spoken or formed only in thought, and to indulge in them will create problems sooner or later. This childish habit is a byproduct of insecurity, which puts the unfamiliar down in order to feel superior. It seldom has anything to do with just, ourselves. So that's where we get to use these opportunities as growth points, growth opportunities. What was it? There's a phrase, AFGO, another flippin' growth opportunity. Well, yeah, that's pretty much August. That is August. And, again, having to stay flexible, because we all know that when traveling, nothing ever really goes according to plan. We all get to, again, we have to learn how to go with the flow. But this also is a month where, if our boundaries, it's possible as someone who doesn't quite know all the rules, we might accidentally step on somebody's toes. But if, we want to be cognizant of what's happening around us, but also remember that we also have our own boundaries and that we're allowed to let people know about them. This focus line is the top one. It's number 6. It is at when you are out in public, in the most visible way that you're out there. It says reckless, insensitive behavior is like playing with fire. To proceed this way is to court disaster. It would be a pity to lose something of real value due to foolishness. Tune in to others now and be willing to adapt to them rather than to impose. I grew up always with the admonishment of, when you're traveling overseas, don't be the ugly American, demanding that everything be the way that it is at home. We're not at home. We're in a new land. We have to be the adapting people. That's how we learn the values of other cultures, and also really truly to respect and appreciate what we do have at home when we come back. I think that's why the World Cup was such a joyful experience for so many, because they adapted to what was going on in America, but they also brought their own personal joy. And it was infectious. It shows people we have a lot more in common than we don't. Then the final card here is number 8, holding together. That was a perfect segue. And it has this different schools of fish, all floating in the same ocean. Everybody is sharing the same planet. We're breathing the same air. We all just want to belong. We want to have a strong connection with those around us, in our community, in our families, in our cities, in our countries. But we can't if we don't have union, cooperation, solidarity, membership, teamwork, participation, and making a choice. It's important to make that choice to stay as part of that group. As long as they're not, abusing you, then, that's a different story. But it says here, the time of holding together supports all efforts that need harmonious and integrated cooperation with others. The only requirement is that each individual's commitment and involvement should be matched in intensity by everyone participating in the endeavor. Having a shared experience is key to remembering, this again, building that community, making sure that we're all there to support and lift others up. The bonds, this oneness of purpose, that's the glue. I mean, we've also are you the person who's the glue that holds everybody together? Maybe others are not as sticky as you might be. I know I personally am one of those sticky people. When I meet somebody and I really like them, well, they have to work really hard to get rid of me. But it's also fun because I then can transfer that and connect others so they can form a relationship outside of me. That's part of, in my way of building community, and then offering that as a way to continue to expand our, how we can benefit others. The genuine spirit of goodwill towards one another overrides the glitches and uncertainties of any group effort, and that strengthens the connections among all the members. So if you're not the glue, find that person who is and thank them, and make sure that you know that how much you appreciate what they're doing, because every cell has a nucleus. There are different ways of combining things, but you're always going to have some type of core that connects everybody else. Even in feng shui, you have the 9 sectors of the Bagua map. The very center hub is the health. That's the hub. If your health breaks, none of those other spokes can function. You can limp along if you're having a bad relationship. You can limp along if you need more education and need to learn something else to advance your career. You can even limp along If you're finding that the family of origins um, stories and inherited patterns aren't really serving you right now, because there are 7 other spokes that can help kind of keep the ball rolling until you can get that addressed. But that's why health is still so important, especially this year. This is a year that, in a month now, that we have the yang fire energy of the month and the yang fire of the year. This is a very key month to pay attention to your health, so that you don't overdo it, that you don't get heat stroke, or in the southern hemisphere, freeze. Just notice what's happening in your body. Become friends and be a very observant person with the somatic experience. All right, this focus line is number 6. Again, bringing everything out to the general public. It says you may have fallen prey to a doubting mind that would rather sit on the fence and criticize or fantasize than participate. Indecisiveness or wavering too long can put us in limbo, and it can become so habitual that any opportunity that comes along is missed. And if you see that this is your situation, learn from it. Make whatever changes are necessary so that you don't become a permanent outsider to the special joys that arise from joining together with others. There's some complications, honestly, for me in reading that, because I do know what it's like to feel like an outsider. And sometimes there's safety, though, in holding back and observing and figuring out, is this a boundary that I need to hold? Or am I just operating from a place of fear and ready for battle? That is a question that only you as an individual can answer. And quite honestly, it changes day to day. Some days it's like, okay, come on, let's bring them on. And other days it's like, okay, I'm the problem here. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Thank you, Taylor Swift. This, though, is a month for really analyzing and acting upon what you think might be the true core of that fence sitting. So if anybody needs help figuring out what would be good days to work on this, it's very easy, because I have my little Tongshu calendar. So the rat is the conflict animal for the entire year. Remember, conflict is like sandpaper. When you rub your hands together, your hands get very warm. That's actually a lovely thing. If you put sandpaper on one of those hands and start rubbing back and forth, you're gonna sand your hand down. That's not fun. So sometimes the conflict animals are a little challenging. Sometimes they are exactly the type of transformation that you need. So for the year, it's the rat. For the month, it's the tiger. Guess what? My day master is a tiger. So I anticipate this particular month to have a lot of growth opportunities for me, and I'm very enthusiastic about it. The first month breaker day, this is on the 8th of August. The year breaker is on the 18th. We've got another month breaker on the 20th. And then on September 1st is another month breaker. These are not bad days to do things. But if you are in need of breaking a habit, of getting yourself out of a rut, of just taking an old pattern and transforming it, those are the perfect days. Again, the 8th, 18th, 20th, and the 1st. Those are the conflict days. I also kind of think of them as the power days. It's the, hey, we're going to break off the rust and get a move on. Use that oil can from The Wizard of Oz. So that is your month of August. If anyone is listening to this and feels like, oh, maybe I need some help, I, of course, do personal sessions. I, of course, have lots of online offerings, but I also am teaching classes in person in the Texas area on energy hygiene and money hygiene, because our relationship with money colors everything. So if your money it could have that as an avatar, and you now have a good relationship with that avatar, it takes one less piece of conflict out of the way and makes life a whole lot easier. So thank you so much for listening. I will have links down below, and I look forward to hearing any comments you might have about how this month is going for you. Take care.